Ellison's Cave Disaster. On February 12, 2011, a group of 10 students from the University of Florida entered Ellison's Cave in Walker County, Georgia. The cave, located on Pigeon Mountain, is the 12th deepest in the United States, with a depth of over 1,000 feet and nearly 12 miles of underground passages. The group, part of a Christian Athletes Fellowship, was on a weekend trip and had no significant caving experience. The students made their way to one of the cave's initial obstacles, the warm-up pit, a 125-foot vertical shaft. At the top of this pit, one of the students accidentally dropped a bag. 20-year-old Grant Lockenbach decided to descend to retrieve it. He used a rappelling device meant for rock climbing, not for the specific type of ropes used in caving. Partway down the descent, at a depth of about 100 feet, something went wrong. Lockenbach became tangled in his own ropes, directly underneath a waterfall of frigid water. He could no longer move up or down. The water, with a temperature just above freezing, poured over him relentlessly. When the group realized Grant was in trouble, 18-year-old Michael Peary decided to help him. He also descended, only to become entangled in the ropes as well, just below Lockenbach. Both men now hung helplessly in the waterfall. The rest of the group, positioned at the top of the shaft, could do nothing. Their equipment was minimal. The entire group was sharing a single harness and one set of ascenders, which were also incomplete. Lockenbach had no helmet or headlamp. Peary had a small handheld flashlight that he soon dropped, leaving them in complete darkness. As the minutes passed, the intense cold began to take its toll. The remaining students raised the alarm, which initiated a large-scale rescue operation. However, it took more than 8 hours for rescuers to recover the bodies of Lockenbach and Peary. The official cause of death was hypothermia. A post-accident investigation concluded that the tragedy was entirely avoidable, caused by a fatal lack of basic knowledge, preparation, and the correct equipment. Cradle Hole Tragedy. On January 15, 1995, a group of 10 cavers entered the Cradle Hole cave system in County Fermanagh, Northern Ireland. The cave is part of the larger Marble Arch Caves Global Geopark, a network of limestone passages carved out by underground rivers. The party was a mix of experienced cavers and students from a club with members on both sides of the Irish border. The weather at the entrance was clear, and the group began their descent. Just 20 minutes after entering the cave, at a depth of approximately 328 feet, the situation changed dramatically. Heavy rainfall further up the mountain had created a flash flood, which surged through the narrow passageways. The water level rose with incredible speed, transforming the previously calm underground stream into a violent torrent. The force of the water separated the group, and panic ensued. 7 of the cavers managed to fight their way back to the surface and raise the alarm. A massive rescue operation was immediately launched, involving around 50 rescuers from the Irish Cave Rescue Organization, the RUC Mountain Rescue Team, and local caving clubs. Police divers were called in, and 2 Royal Air Force helicopters equipped with searchlights were dispatched to the scene to assist in the search for the 3 missing cavers. Rescuers battled against the powerful current and rising water levels inside the cave. Soon after the operation began, they located and recovered the bodies of 2 of the missing cavers, Philip Marshall from Armagh and Con Cormacan from Dublin. The search continued for the 3rd man, Pat Brian Kennedy from Wicklow. Despite the extensive efforts of the rescue teams, he was also found to have drowned in the floodwaters. The speed and power of the flash flood left the group with almost no time to react, turning a routine exploration into a fatal event. The incident became a case study in the inherent dangers of underground environments, where surface weather can create deadly conditions below ground in a matter of minutes. Guna Caves, India's Devil's Kitchen. In the hills of Kodaikanal, India, lies a deep chasm known as the Guna Caves, originally named Devil's Kitchen. On September 3, 2006, a group of 11 friends from Manjamel, Kerala, arrived at the caves for a day of sightseeing. They encountered a warning sign at the entrance to a restricted area, but it was written in Tamil, a language the group could not read. The sign stated that 13 people had died in the area. Unaware of the specific danger, they crossed a dilapidated fence and began exploring the uneven, rock-strewn terrain. Looking back, that broken fence was basically nature whispering, "Bro, if you step past this, don't expect customer support." As they moved through the woods, one of the friends, Subhash Chandran, stepped over a covered crevice. The ground gave way, and he vanished into a deep pit. Another friend, Abhilash John, witnessed the fall and screamed for help. The friends rushed to the edge of the hole, a vertical drop of more than 90 feet, but could see only darkness. Panicked, the group sought help from local villagers, who warned them to leave immediately, fearing police involvement. The friends refused and contacted the authorities. When police and fire rescue teams arrived, they were hesitant to act. Given the cave's history, they considered a descent to be a suicide mission. As hours passed, the official position was that a recovery was impossible. Refusing to abandon their friend, one of the men, Sixon John, shouted Subhash's name into the pit. A faint, muffled sound came back. Subhash was alive. Hearing this, another friend, Siju David, insisted on being lowered down. The rescue team, reluctant but moved by his determination, agreed to assist. With a thin rope tied around his waist, Siju was slowly lowered into the dark shaft. The rope was too short. After descending about 60 feet, he saw Subhash lying motionless on a small ledge below. Siju was lowered further until he reached his friend, who was unconscious and bleeding. He grabbed Subhash, held him tight, and the group on the surface began the slow, arduous task of pulling them both to safety. After nearly 5 hours, they were brought to the surface. Subhash was revived, becoming the only person known to have been rescued alive from the depths of Devil's Kitchen. Jiudong Cave Tragedy. On April 18, 2014, two of China's most experienced cave divers, Wang Tao and Wang Yuan, prepared for a record-setting descent into the Jiudong cave system in Guangxi, China. Nicknamed the Underwater Everest, the cave is a labyrinth of flooded passages plunging to extreme depths, where visibility is often poor and the pressure is immense. Only the most skilled technical divers attempt to explore its deepest sections. Their objective was to reach a depth of 558 feet. Both men were highly trained and equipped with specialized closed-circuit rebreathers and multiple gas cylinders for the extreme depths. The dive plan was complex, with a planned bottom time of only 20 minutes and a decompression schedule that would last nearly 4 hours. Wang Yuan took the lead, unreeling the thin guideline that would serve as their only path back to the surface, while Wang Tao followed. The conditions were challenging. Visibility was low at only about 6.5 feet. They descended through the darkness, passing the previous record depth and pushing deeper into the unknown. They reached a maximum depth of 545 feet. Then, something went wrong. Deep within the cave, the guideline, their single most critical piece of safety equipment, snapped. In the silted water and total blackness, the two divers were instantly disoriented and separated. Wang Yuan conducted a frantic, circular search for his partner and the lost line, but found nothing. Following his training, he began his ascent, hoping to find a previously laid safety line at a shallower depth. He eventually located one and followed it, where he found a small, trapped air pocket. He surfaced inside it, alone in the dark. When the divers failed to return on schedule, their surface support, Zhou Pei, initiated a rescue. Wang Yuan was eventually located and rescued from the air pocket, but Wang Tao was still missing. An extensive search operation was launched, but the extreme depth and complexity of the cave system made the search incredibly difficult and dangerous. Wang Tao's body was never found. He remains entombed somewhere in the depths of the underwater Everest.